Wyatt and I just got down here and set up in this bottom field where I watched all the turkeys last night come to roost. And we're covered up. There's all those gobblers I saw are roosted right here on the river. So hopefully we pick the right side, or I pick the right side. If they pitch out in this field, we should be in business, but they're sure gobbling good this morning. This could get exciting. I can see a hen in the tree back here. That one that's yelping. There's still one in the tree. They're running those jakes off, aren't they?
Yeah.
Another hen coming out.
I get like a full field view. Oh, it's not gonna show well. Darn it.
Yeah, he does. Come on, boys.
These 3 gobblers were hammering coming in. They looked like they were going to commit to the decoys until they got close enough to realize that there was a jake decoy there, and then their mood changed and they started to skirt us and ended up going behind us at about 30 yards.
I don't think they're gonna come in. Yeah. Those all jakes down there.
2 of them were for sure. One of them wasn't in strut, so I couldn't see. He was facing away. And I can't see the one to the right with the camera. The one that's moving now.
They're coming back. Yeah.
I wonder if these jakes will just beat the crap out of these toms.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's crazy.
So we've got 6 in the field.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if one of them turkeys is a longbeard.
It is. There's a 2-year-old bird in there. The one on the right is a 2-year-old bird.
Oh, yeah, he does have a beard, don't he?
Yep.
Well, here's a really good example of just finding yourself in the right situation. And with the jake decoy out this morning, it definitely wasn't going to work. We counted 14 jakes on this farm just from our blind, and as you can see, they were chasing this gobbler all over the field, and that's why these gobblers won't come to the jake decoys sometimes. A couple jakes get together and they will just absolutely run a gobbler out of the field. So you got to get in the right situation, and when there's a bunch of jakes like this that are aggressive, it makes it really hard to get them to commit to that jake decoy.
Still coming. Now the jakes are running in. These dudes are relentless.
That's them that's yelping, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sounds like we got bird fired over the truck.
Yep.
So after Brayton and I hunted that morning, we went and got some breakfast, drove around, decided to look for some birds from the road, didn't find anything. Brayton had some stuff to take care of that day, so he headed back home, and I decided to head to a different farm and do a midday setup in a spot where I've killed a turkey before in the middle of the day. And I went and got in the Banks blind, and boy, I'm sure glad I did.
Alright, well, it is April 14th here in Iowa, and I just got set up in a Banks blind here on one of our farms where I've killed a turkey right in this exact same spot before midday. It's about noon. Brayton and I hunted this morning, had a fun hunt, bunch of gobblers around us, but also a bunch of jakes, and that made it tough. They just didn't want to come to the decoys because those jakes were running them around. So came to this farm. We've got pictures of a bunch of gobblers here, so I know there's something in the area. The wind's picked up quite a bit, so hopefully they'll be able to hear me call. I'm just sitting right up on top of this hill right in the middle of the farm, so I'm going to get to calling as loud as I can, get the call down in this draws. So hopefully one of them will hear me and sneak up here on top of this hill and come to the decoys. So I just got all set up. I'm going to sit here for an hour, hour and a half and see what happens. Been here for like 20 minutes. First time I called, there was a hen yelping back. She came out in the field right here, like 30 yards. Worked off behind me, and now there's a bird gobbling right down in the cedars here to my right. He's gobbled like 3 times in the last couple minutes. Be surprised if he doesn't come up here. Right in the head in the decoys. Before I came in here, I decided I was only going to shoot one bird, so I'm going to let this bird work out of here and save him for my dad. Hasn't got to hunt yet in Iowa, so there's only a few longbeards on this place. But man, that was awesome. Yeah, this other one's walking down into the timber, so what a hunt. My first bird in Iowa. Doesn't get any better than that. 10 to 2, our favorite time to hunt. If you get one to gobble, better get your bow in your hand, and it worked yet again. Whew, awesome. Let's go take a look at this guy. Beautiful birds, man. They were pretty walking up through that cornfield to the decoy. The DSDs did it yet again. All right, so here's the setup here on this spot. Up here on top of this ridge, surrounded by cedars, as you can see, so it's easy to get into without these birds down in the timber seeing you. We've had this Banks blind here since deer season. My dad actually killed his buck right here in the same spot, so we've had turkeys up here strutting on this hill. We know this is where they like to hang out, so I just came here, got in the Banks blind, put the DSDs right out in front, and as you saw, those gobblers came up out of the brush down here, saw that decoy, and right to it they came. So let's go down here and take a look at this guy. I am pumped. Beautiful Iowa longbeard there. He's got some hooks on him too. Awesome. Pretty bird. Well, what another awesome hunt from that 10 to 2 time frame here in Iowa. We've killed a lot of turkeys. After they fly down, split up from their groups, if they gobble this time of day, they're usually alone. And as soon as these birds gobbled down on that ditch, I figured if I just gave them enough time, they'd come up here and check me out. And finally, after I gave them the silent treatment, they worked right up into this field, saw the decoys, and came right to them. As you can tell, it's a little windy, so I was thankful for that Banks blind. And man, what a hunt. There's nothing like spring. Chasing these gobblers with a bow and arrow can be tough sometimes, but when it works out like that, man, it is worth it. So Missouri opens in a few days. We'll be heading back down there. Got a lot of birds on camera, and I can't wait to get after them down there with Jake and Austin and some of the guys. So what a hunt. Beautiful Iowa longbeard. Doesn't get much better than that. Can't wait to get back after them.